Throughout history, we've learned to fear what we don't know. Our minds and bodies have gotten used to this idea over thousands of years. When we keep thinking the same way, making the same choices, and doing the same things, we end up feeling the same emotions over time. These emotions then affect our thoughts, keeping everything the same. But when we introduce new information, knowledge, and ideas, we can inspire change. By encouraging people to make different choices and try new things, they can break old habits and create new experiences. In just 4 days, people can even start to activate genes that help heal their bodies just by changing how they think, act, and feel. The challenge is that our brains and bodies are stuck in what's familiar. When we try to do something different, it feels uncomfortable because we're leaving behind what we know. Our bodies, which have been conditioned to stick to what's familiar, resist change. As we step into the unknown, we feel uneasy because we can't predict what will happen next. This discomfort makes our bodies influence our minds, leading us to think the same thoughts we're used to. If we accept these thoughts without questioning them, we end up making the same choices and behaving the same way, creating the same experiences and emotions. Even though it might feel right, it's just because it's what we're used to. To change, we need to become aware of our unconscious thoughts. The more conscious we are of these thoughts, the less they control us without us realizing it. Our consciousness is like our inner awareness that guides us every day. We can think of it as our subconsciousness, which is separate from our conscious mind but still very intelligent and influential in keeping us in order. Every second, our brains handle countless tasks without us even realizing it. These tasks keep us healthy and alive, like controlling our heartbeat, digesting food, and repairing cells. It's like there's a hidden intelligence inside us that takes care of everything automatically. This intelligence knows much more than we do, even though we might think we know it all. It's something every person has, no matter their age, gender, or background. But most people don't recognize its power and wisdom. This intelligence is what gives life to everything. It's a real force that exists in all things. Scientists call it different names like the Z-point field or universal intelligence. It's what makes the physical world come to life, and scientists are only starting to understand it. As humans, we have two sides to our consciousness. One side is what we're aware of, the thoughts and feelings we have. The other side is this deeper intelligence that keeps us alive and connected to everything around us. We have the freedom to choose how we live our lives, but this greater intelligence is what keeps us going. Our brains are like the tools that allow us to tap into both levels of consciousness. Without consciousness, our brains would be inactive. But when consciousness flows through our brains, it creates what we call the mind. The mind is like the result of a working brain infused with life. So, the brain is like the hardware, and consciousness is the software that makes it work. Both levels of consciousness work together to create the mind, giving us the ability to think, feel, and experience life. Our brains are like two different systems, each handling a different kind of consciousness. The conscious mind operates in the neocortex, which is like the command center of our brain. It's where we make decisions, think, and process information. The way our brain cells are connected in the neocortex makes us unique individuals with our own thoughts, feelings, and experiences. With our conscious mind, we're aware of ourselves, our actions, and our surroundings. We can think about our thoughts and express our ideas. This self-awareness is what we mean when we talk about someone being conscious or unconscious. It's about being awake and aware of who we are. But sometimes our brains switch into survival mode, especially when we're stressed. In this mode, everything can seem like a threat or a danger. We might feel impatient, frustrated, or judgmental. It's like we're being controlled by our emotions. When we face challenges like dealing with a difficult coworker or giving a presentation, we have a choice. We can either let our emotions control us, blaming others or our circumstances for how we feel, or we can take control, calming ourselves down and focusing on who we want to be. It's not always easy, especially when we're feeling stressed. But by practicing relaxation techniques and reminding ourselves of our goals, we can change our mindset and handle challenges more effectively. It's all about taking a moment to breathe, regain our composure, and remember who we want to be. Our brains work like two separate systems, each dealing with a different type of awareness. The conscious mind operates in the neocortex, which is like the main control center of our brain. It's where we make decisions, think things through, and process what's happening around us. The way our brain cells are connected in the neocortex makes each of us unique, with our own thoughts, feelings, and experiences. With our conscious mind, we're tuned into ourselves, our actions, and the world around us. We can think about our thoughts and share our ideas. When we talk about being conscious or unconscious, it's about being awake and aware of who we are. But sometimes, when we're stressed, our brains switch gears into survival mode. In this mode, everything can feel like a threat, making us feel impatient, frustrated, or judgmental. It's like our emotions take over and steer us. When we're faced with challenges like dealing with a tough coworker or giving a presentation, we have a choice. We can either let our emotions run the show, blaming others or our situation for how we feel, or we can take charge, calming ourselves down and focusing on the kind of person we want to be. It's not always easy, especially when stress levels are high. But by practicing relaxation techniques and keeping our goals in mind, we can change how we approach things and deal with challenges better. It's about taking a moment to breathe, regain our balance, and remember our values. Consciousness comes in two distinct flavors. There's the objective consciousness, which is like the energy that gives life and vitality to everything. It's the source of our being. Then there's the subjective consciousness, which resides in our neocortex, acting as our personal explorer, learning, growing, and shaping our experiences. Understanding how our brains function to create this consciousness allows us to break free from the limits of what we already know. By aligning our conscious mind with this infinite potential, we open ourselves up to a world of new possibilities. Consciousness is what enables us to change our brains and minds. It's that mysterious part of ourselves that influences our thoughts and feelings. When we're truly conscious, aware, and present, we have the power to shape our minds and create new levels of awareness. When we can merge our conscious and subconscious minds, we're able to upgrade our mental hardware and operating systems. Essentially, we can rewire our brains. The idea is, if we can change the way we think and feel, can we also change the outcomes in our lives? Can we shift from feeling like victims to feeling like creators of our own destinies? By altering our thoughts, actions, and emotions, we can indeed create new outcomes. Our goal is to help people reverse this process. Everything in our lives, people, places, objects, is mapped in our brains, shaping our perceptions and responses. But if we can change how we think, act, and feel, we can change our lives for the better. It's about rising above circumstances and taking control of our own destinies. And that's the thrilling journey of being the creators of our lives.